Welcome back to Tabletop Diaries, Cursed Scroll Zine 1, After Party, Episode 4, where we will be discussing episodes 10, 11, and 12.
Nice.
Well done.
Mrs. Redcap. Solid. I want to kind of create a different name for these after parties because I am kind of ripping it off from Rick and listening to some other podcasts. They have more interesting names for their little after party stuff, a cool down with Critical Role. And,
let's call it a recap.
Recap? Yeah. Actually, you know what? Why don't you comment or email us what you think we should name these little recap after party episodes.
We can call it Shadowdark recap or Diablery recap.
Okay, that's episode. That's zine specific, but for Tabletop Diaries, you should probably. I don't know. It should reflect our channel.
Dire recap.
Dire recap.
Yeah.
You did this, Russ.
That's horrible. No,
you did this.
We're not using
memorable.
that.
It's so memorable.
It's so close to diarrhea.
My God.
It's about how catchy it is. You know?
Back, Tim. I don't want to hold this.
Oh, God.
But yes, we are discussing episodes 10, 11, and 12, and just Shadowdark in general. But yes, episode 10, where Miss Redcap decided to 180 and said, you know what? I am going into this castle and finding these secrets and getting all this loot. And it was definitely fruitful.
Do you have a reason for Mrs. Redcap for changing her mind, or did you just feel?
I was listening back to session 9, and I was like, okay, I'm not playing the game. I'm like, this is Shadowdark. We're supposed to go into danger and try to look for treasure, and I feel like we just passed it up, and I was being too spooked by it.
Yeah.
And so it's like I have to 180. It's like this is. Danger's good. Like danger equals treasure. Like that's what you have to try to do sometimes in the game. Like,
it worked really well because we found the most treasure down there than
danger equals carousing
anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah. It's the only way to truly level in the whole basis of Shadowdark is to go out to danger, do the risk, get the reward, and level up through the reward in town. Yeah,
because otherwise, you're stuck in the slums and the world is punishing, so you gotta need to level up.
And I want to say I was totally forgiven because I am fully tweaking, but I am tweaking to your guys' level. But if you guys run into something, and especially the book says what it is, you're fighting. And if you just keep running into like stuff that's level 12 or something, which there's some stuff at level 12, not necessarily in this zine, but in Shadowdark in general. And if you guys are just being cowards and running away, you're gonna meet your demise. And that's the game. So taking risks. That's what Shadowdark is. It's taking risks. Yeah, well,
that's the thing. Playing this many sessions, like you feel the pulse of the game, and then you get the gist. Obviously, in the beginning, we're all afraid of this world. So we, initially we have to start cowardly to stay alive. But once you get into it, like now, I think we have the gist kind of what the pulse of this game is.
Yeah.
So now it's like, kind of I'm liberated from, I don't have to be coward anymore. I can just go gloriously, find stuff, get paid, die, and then come back in another shape.
That's the essential of this game of Shadowdark is supposed to be unforgiving. And to remind myself, future Tim, put a warning on this episode of spoiler alert. There's gonna be spoilers in this recap.
Big ones.
So go listen to the episodes first, because I don't know why you're listening to the after party first. That's weird. That would make no sense. Yeah. Like, hey, let me listen to them after party. Let's just. I mean, you do you. I mean, you do you, but you should probably listen to episodes first.
10, 11, and 12. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think this game, until you pop your death cherry, that's when you are freed from all that anxiety of how dangerous this game is.
Within reason, though, because the world still demands a bit of fear.
Yeah, but also it's like as players, like we played new, But the first time someone dies or you die, that's when you be like, okay, I don't care anymore. It's like I'm gonna go head first into this thing and enjoy every second, and I'm gonna die. But you have to experience it the first.
There's something to be said that, but like also just playing a character after a while, because I've played several characters outside of here, just in our my home games, and I say that, but I mean, you do kind of grow attached to these characters no matter what. Because you took the time to write those stats and thought process and make your decision and all this and
backstory,
backstory. I feel like once you do that, and I'm doing it now with a character that's a joke character with a friend's one-off that I have no intention for that person to live, but I don't want to see that person die immediately unless like I just get in and like that's kind of my goal is to be the guy that dies first, which can be fun in its own sense. But
the thing is, like, the longer you play the character, that's when you start to get attached, because you go through adventures, you collect memories, and then you watch that character like grow, and you have all these stories with it, and that's where the attachment happens. It doesn't happen when you create it. And you start living that character. So that's when it gets a little bit, you start to become like a little bit of a coward because you don't want the character to die.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that going up until literally episode 10, where it feels, and I would say a lot of it, because you guys, like in the early episodes where you're killing the troll, that was, I mean, you did turn tail and run
the first time,
but then you guys assimilated a plan, turned around and wrecked him, got the upper hand.
But I'm glad you mentioned that episode. I think that was like a turning point for us. It's like, you can tell how cowardly we were because we were afraid. It's like, it's like a baby step to be like, I'm trying to feel up this game. And that's like the first time you face that challenge. You'll be like, should I take a risk? I don't know this world, it seems very rough. And then, when that happens, and then episode 10 was also a liberating episode, because it was like the first time we crossed the threshold where like, someone died. That happened.
No, no. Spoiler alert, we're still on episode 10.
Spoiler alert, sorry.
Oh, no, we're not there yet. Well, I mean, if you listen to this in order, this would not be a surprise to you at all. But no, in episode 10, you did find a lot of information and a lot of treasure in a really, really great blade that you are still right now, Val.
Rocking
it. Very, very powerful weapon. Indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, we encountered a bunch of traps, bunch of different enemy types, a lot of combats we went through all 3 short rests to heal. So that dungeon.
Tobin was MVP because we got surrounded by skeletons, and that turned undead. Was like super.
Yeah,
that was
the main priest spell I finally got to use.
I have to say, in all my D&D, I've never actually had someone use turn undead. That's not true. I would say 5e. In 5e, I've never had this, and it's obviously Shadowdark. And I was curious when you said turn undead. It's like, okay, I know how this is kind of supposed to work in some spots and some other spots. So that was interesting for me, personally, interesting mechanic to learn.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you wrecked. I think you killed literally half of them.
Half of them, 5 out of 10 skeletons dropped.
That made a difference right off the bat in the beginning. That was a turning point.
Especially as you guys rolled like crap and struggled for the remainder to kill the 3
slipping everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the dice sometimes.
Tripping on bones, marbles.
Day.
Yeah, that was.
You can tell how critical that move was, because if you do the math afterwards, you'll be like, if he didn't initially kill half of them,
we could have all died.
Struggle, we would die.
Especially the way you guys were rolling, and I want to say the AC was like 13 or 14.
Some of them
were
armored.
Yeah, some of them were armored. So it was like 13, 14. And the AC only dropped when you started wrecking them, because then I was like, okay, their armor's starting to fall off here and there. So now they're kind of easier to hit.
Yeah.
But you guys were rolling like pure crap. Yeah. So it was like kind of trying to hit Tobin. And they didn't have a lot of HP, but they were just hard to hit.
And they were missing Tobin too. Like Tobin was like
had that mithril.
Yeah. And so it was like I think he took on like 3 or something, like by himself or something. I don't know. Maybe I remember a different fight, but
No, he took out a bunch.
In defense of Vern, he found the trapdoor.
True.
Okay, he was the one who found the trapdoor.
That is true, yeah.
And so the Emerald Blade, just to say how good it is, +2 Master Sword that allows you to speak to wild animals.
That's awesome.
The last thing, the wild animal speaking, is really strong because that affects a lot of the random encounters.
It does.
In Shadowdark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like,
for
I don't
some
know
reason,
how
I
many
just
of them.
keep rolling animals.
Right,
Right.
but I don't know how many of them are animals in that random, table.
Right.
But it really strongly affects
Because it's already happened a number
It's
of
a
times.
useful tool.
Yeah.
Why fight? You can talk your way out of it.
Yeah.
And it's funny with the zine because Kelsey put that in there because that was like one of the big things in that castle is you find this. And I've been signed to her newsletter. She put out Green Knights, and just that lore itself, even though it was after the zine, dude, it's awesome. They really have a druidic kind of feel. And after reading the sword thing, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And I'm definitely gonna play it into our campaign heavily. I mean, obviously, I kind of was already
said it.
Yeah, it's been hinted here and there and foreshadowing. But once I started like really looking into when she dropped literally a stat block for Green Knights, that was kind of a game changer. And there's a big surprise in it for you, Russ.
Uh-oh.
A callback. I'll call it that. A callback.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
I'll have to check it out.
And I hope you guys actually get to witness it. But it all depends on you guys, but we'll see.
Session 10 is when we found out that Urix was a Green Knight
Ripped
of a
from
knight.
his time.
And the most important thing from that session, I wrote it down here. Val commits to helping Vern go shoe shopping. I didn't even remember it until I read it.
Shoe shopping.
He said he would
because
buy
he was
new
slipping
boots
around.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. He's like, these old shoes. Yeah. It's because
in one situation, he kept tripping, and I was
poor
like,
Archer
dude,
blames his shoes.
dude, after this, I'm gonna get you brand new stuff because this is not working, man.
Yeah. Better buy him new boots.
Yeah.
I will note before we move on to episode 12.
11.
11. You also learned that you were being watched, at least in that Green Knights area, the Green Knights castle, that someone might have been watching you. It appears to be Knights of Idris, or so you were led to believe by this letter.
I'm still curious who's watching us.
Yeah. And if it's connected to that.
And I'm still curious who,
Bird bottle.
that bird that pooped the letter on me. And
The infamous bird bottle.
Yeah. Who sent that letter? And what's with the 7 o'clock? Or
What-
7?
Days or
What a
7
determined
whatever.
bird, yeah.
Yeah. Magically compelled it has
Somebody
to be.
from your past. Indeed. Any final comments on
The trap.
episode 10?
I mean, it was a great dungeon crawl. We got a ton of loot. It's a good episode.
That was a smooth episode for us, playing wise. Like it has a good balance of everything. That was nice. Dangerous enough, but not too dangerous. That was good.
It definitely had its threats, and you guys, you definitely overcame a lot of it. And like you said, you got reward for it. Moving on to episode 11, where we kind of open up with essentially a huge tragedy. It
Two
was
of them.
not
Yeah.
supposed to start like that or end in that manner, but it definitely, the tides did not turn in your favor.
That episode was crazy. That was the craziest one we've had by far.
But again, that was a turning point. Just like with the troll cave was a turning point. It's like the evolution of us playing, meeting that troll and learning how to do that. That episode for me kind of liberated a lot of the anxiety of playing. It's like, okay, it finally happened because since we started playing in this universe, like, is it going to happen? What is it going to look like? How is it going to feel? And then you finally experience it. Obviously, half of us died, the other half survived, but still, it's like it happened. And I was like, okay, I think I feel better now. It's like I let
Because
go.
you didn't die.
No, it's not. It's not that.
Somebody died. It wasn't me. But
It's not that. It's like after that, it's like I don't care much. It's like I let go, which means I go full into the experience. And if it happens, it happens. It's like I'm not hung up too much on it.
Yeah.
I don't look.
And here I am, been trying to kill. I haven't been trying to kill Vern, but
Oh God.
but it boggles my mind how he's been surviving through. So let's just get the cat out of the bag. Two party members die: the beloved Miss Redcap and Tobin.
Leon too.
Early
a
in
random
the
encounter.
It was a random encounter.
And
Randomish. It's technically written in the book, but there's reason for that.
For us, we rolled.
It was a roll.
But they fought hard. It wasn't like an easy death. It wasn't like, they put up a good fight.
The party got ambushed by cultists and were overcome. Everyone got downed. The two elves, Val and Vern, stabilized, got captured and sent to the camp. But unfortunately, Miss Redcap and Tobin passed away. Zach, please tell us what's going through because I believe you were the last one standing.
Yep.
Yeah. That was tough. I know you want to go around the table, but like I'm thinking about it chronologically. Like I see Ms. Redcap sees Vern go down first, and you have this debate where it's like, okay, do I try to stabilize a friend or do I try to keep fighting? You always have that choice because you don't know logistically which one is best sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I just decided I was pretty sure that Ms. Redcap has high intelligence, so if an intelligence check is gonna work to stabilize somebody, because it's a pretty high intelligence check to stabilize.
Mm-hmm.
But she just barely got that 13 to make sure that Vern survives. And later on, when Val falls, Val got the nat 20 to stabilize himself. Like those were really close. That they both made
That's
it
what made
out.
it.
Yeah.
That was a miraculous 20. I don't think I will ever get that same one.
Well, we keep missing, they keep missing, and we keep getting knocked down towards even numbers. And I love Mrs. Redcap as a character, like plot wise, but her stats are crap, guys. Like we all knew this. We all knew this from the beginning. 5 hit points, usually 1d4 damage. Like she's not.
Yeah.
If it's 1-to-1, it's not really 1-to-1.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised she survived this long. To be honest.
But dude, you gotta give her props till the end. She tried everything, including that illusion thing, man. It was like, she pulled off that.
Yeah, that was real clever.
It could have worked.
But it was the rest of you guys. The rest of you guys were protecting her a lot, like with your choices and how you were fighting. Because she was trying to stay back and do ranged stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she had 1 hit point and she was trying to just get everything sorted out, and it just wasn't going. And the two, like Mrs. Redcap got a nat 20 on something, but then the 2 enemies also got 2 nat 20s.
Yeah.
And that was just like, and those matter so much more when you've got a melee weapon to hit. And so yeah, that was tough. Listening back through it once was like a little traumatic to just listen through it and hear her die and like hear that the cultists did try to stabilize her and fail.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay, gosh. It's tough, but that's what you have to have some bad outcomes in order to value the good outcomes. Like every other fight meant something because there could be that kind of ending at any given time, even a random encounter.
Yeah.
But the ridiculous part is like throughout all these things that we fought, we got taken out by those cultists.
Yeah.
I mean, we took down some serious monsters and things that I thought would never survive these things. They will swipe you up like a booger.
Yeah, underluck.
And then you get taken down by a bunch of cultists. That was a little ridiculous.
Did have more numbers than you, but not by much. They did have, I want to say a higher AC.
Maybe, yeah, probably that.
I think it was 14.
Something like
I
that.
think we never got to it, but they were like wearing chainmail under the robes. Much like the little halfling things that you guys fought. They had shields on their backs, so it boosted their AC. But it's kind of that hidden thing where it's like you don't see it, but all you see is this kind of bulky kind of looking thing coming at you, and you don't know what it's wearing. And they cover themselves in like cloaks or something, and you don't know. Their AC can be like, if I see a random person, peasant running up with a cloak, their AC is probably gonna be low as crap. But what's under that cloak? Yeah, what's under that cloak? And the cultists have a little more tricks up their sleeves, especially with that magic drain thing.
The death touch.
Dude.
Yeah, the death touch.
That was a traumatic experience.
Yeah, quite. It was strange for me. It was the first time in a session going into combat that I didn't think I was going to die. Because we'd survived so much already. I had this mithril. It's been keeping me alive for so long. Like, we've gone down so many times, but always been able to stabilize. Like, I finally got comfortable. And then just the rolls on my D20, didn't matter which one I used. It just kept being bad and bad. And until it was like, as I think we got down, I think Vern was down and there were only a handful of us and them left, is when there was this turning point of like, oh no, we're not gonna make it. And then I got hit with a crit, went down. I rolled a 1 on that death save. And I knew right then and there, like, we might all die. And it was crazy. The thing that hit me, and it was, you kind of said something similar, was how unceremonious it was on the listen back. It was like, experiencing it was like, a little heartbreaking, but on the listen back, and this is as it would be in that world, just you're alive 1 second, then you're dead the next. There was no ceremony, no, final heroic breath or comment, or you're just dead.
And it's funny, I did the same thing as you. In the death rolls, I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
I literally
had that miracle 20 roll.
And it was that 1 luck token. Yeah, I gave you 1 and I kept 1. So I had 1 life turn, 1 roll, 20. I was like, this can't happen.
Yeah.
It was like, what the hell?
The twisted mind of Kelsey was like, death should be definite and hold meaning. I will, to argument, say with 5e, there's a lot of ways to not die.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have resurrection spells. They have all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
wish
like
spells, and
and the death saves are like completely different. Like, you have more chance of stabilizing yourself. But this is simplified to like, you have to hit 20 to stabilize yourself, or someone has to come at you and hit a 15 intelligence to get in. If you have a negative in your intelligence, that's a factor.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you die, there is no resurrection spell in Shadowdark. There's no coming back. There's a wish spell, but who's to say that that's a monkey paws,
right?
So it's definite, and it's
quick,
and it's supposed to solidify that nothing's really permanent.
You can feel the difference. I mean, when we played in the WTF, the D&D we played, and the characters we had, they were like these quirky characters. We played for a year, the whole story from beginning to end. We were retired and all that stuff, and you saw how that went. It's like death was always like far away. It's like you play with certain comfort. It didn't feel like that with this game. I mean, we had a whole
death is around.
Yeah, like WTF. We had a whole year. We were playing, having good times. You get always to the edge, closer, and then you're out and you continue the story. This one, we're like 10 episodes in, 11, and you're hanging by the thread in every episode.
Yeah,
not just puts it in perspective.
Of course, the 2 rangers survived.
Yeah, that
they went down first. Yeah.
They went down first and they survived.
Yeah. The ones with the names most easily mixed up.
I mean,
which happens so much in episode 11.
That episode, I don't even know what it was. Like, one of you guys started it and then we all just followed suit.
I mean, if you look back at it, Tobin in the beginning was performing like tremendous.
Well,
Like he was like doing great. And if you look back at it, you think maybe Mrs. Redcap and Vern would be the candidates to die.
I always thought Vern was going to die.
Yeah, Vern was the clumsy and everything. Mrs. Redcap with her stats, you know, vulnerable. But like the surprising, you know, the shocking to me was like, because Tobin was like kicking butt, and then bam, he's out.
One nat 20 and I was down.
The dice wills what the dice weaves.
Yep.
Yes, I took that from a book.
Yeah,
If anybody reads the Wheel of Time.
the dice gods have spoken.
I was listening to the combat. I was just like thinking back at like what I could have done differently and stuff like that. It's like I could have chosen a level 2 healing thing for the witch, you know, and tried to like when I was leveling up, you know, instead of Shadow Dance. But like Shadow Dance is funny.
I'm
like,
surprised.
Like that was my choices. Those were my choices.
Right.
You know, if I was
could be still used in combat.
if I was Mrs. If I was Mrs.
thing.
Redcap, I would have escaped.
But
As soon as you see half the party is down, one is like saying, her stats will indicate it's like you are, you know, you're sitting duck. So the only thing you can do if you want to help your friends is escape. And maybe come back and resurrect them or something.
well,
But there's no resurrect.
I mean, stabilize them.
And to be fair,
Stabilize them,
and to
hoping-
be fair, you didn't know what these guys were going to do. I mean, again, to be fair, every encounter, death was kind of imminent. This one was specific for a purpose that you guys just rolled. You guys rolled this encounter. I was just waiting for it. It's like, okay, this is going to happen. But this is a part of the book. There's a whole thing to it that you can obviously check out. But the whole thing is like, they weren't there to kill you, obviously.
Yeah.
They're there to sacrifice you, and they want, you know, you to be alive for that.
Right.
Can you imagine what would happen if Mrs. Redcap successfully escaped and then we stayed and fought and obviously we're going to die and we died? How would that continue? And then
It
you
would
end up...
continue by you making a new
No, I mean, you end up
which
with...
is what happened.
You end up with Mrs.
Episode 11.
Redcap
Right.
by herself, taking back the mantle and carrying the story.
It would have, yeah, that would have
Be
been
chaotic.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my god.
Mrs. Redcap
Shun.
and Mort the Goblin.
She wouldn't have made it.
She recruits
Mort the Goblin.
the
Yeah.
goblin.
We saw a rat and then an army of squirrels behind him. No, I wanted to say about the combat is like I was listening to it. It's like I think Tobin tried to heal Vern at the beginning.
He did, yeah.
Actually, no, I don't think I tried to heal. I think I may have tried to heal myself or Vern. That sounds right. But
it was because of that first heal that couldn't work. It's like Shadowdark is very limited on healing.
yeah,
Like, you know, DM Tim's given us healing potions, you know, to do some things.
And it's so
Which-
punishing. You fail and you're done.
Well, that's,
once.
that makes sense with like a lot of magic. It's like you've got that one trick. And if that one trick doesn't work, it's like you got to figure out something else
Yep.
or you might die.
have a backup
You know,
plan.
it makes sense. And so it's just like, it's just kind of a thing where it's like that was the fight that we lost, is the fight with
Yeah.
no heals, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh gosh.
I mean, just so harsh.
I'm a healer now. I made a character that's a healer.
Hell yes, and I'm grateful for it.
We learned from your lesson.
That's all you.
Yeah.
That's all I can do. So with the death of you two, we find Val and Vern. You know, they make a daring escape. Val,
Amazing escape.
amazing escape. What was it?
They got some of their loot,
yeah.
We
Yeah.
got our
They're-
stuff back.
inventory.
Yeah,
gear.
you rolled a percentile. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be the tent with the stuff, or this is gonna be
50-50.
the other tent. And you
I rolled like 54,
you
I
know,
think.
you got the upper hand, and so you got your stuff back, which is cool because honestly, with stuff like that, I'd rather not go through the mechanic. I mean, I would
Would
have.
have been butt naked in the woods.
Yeah, you would have been running, and that would have that would have changed a lot of things.
But they snuck away. They were able to they passed that stealth check or whatever.
Yeah.
And they,
Without the advantage that they had the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they could have, yeah.
amazingly.
You know, actually, in my head, I had like two options. I was about to say, look, I didn't even consider the option that we will find our gear back.
Yeah.
So
Were you just on
initially,
a vengeance kind of
no.
warpath or something?
Initially, what I was thinking, I was like, you know what? We're wearing underwear. We have nothing. So let's sneak out blend into the ground.
At least they're wearing them.
And yeah,
Right.
and then, maybe sneak into one of the tents or something, find robes and disguise ourselves like them.
Yeah.
And then go around the camp and investigate and see what's up.
That would have been a good idea. That would have been a real good idea.
Yeah, but immediately we found our gear. I did not account.
Like, screw this. Let's go time. Arrow.
But in my head, I did not.
Yeah.
The option of finding our gear didn't even cross my mind. So I was gonna like go around, snoop around the tent, find some cloaks, dress like them, hide ourselves, and then take your time and see what's up.
Yeah.
But you gave us our gear back, and I was like, okay, let's burn this place down.
Yeah, you took the vengeful war path. I mean, it's good that you ran because I was kind of waiting. It's like, okay, they're gonna see this, they see it, and I was like, is he gonna stand ground and just go down?
Oh no!
Because dude, the way you were playing from my memory, I was like, wow, okay, they're going to see you because you can only shoot so many fire arrows at a camp at night. Where they're gonna be like, okay, fire is clearly over there,
Right.
coming from there to here. So,
But if you remember, I was always positioning ourselves like we're gonna poke at them from far away and ready to escape. I was never gonna be like, oh, stand our ground and fight. I know they're gonna kill us, but I was trying to hope to gain as much time as like poke from the distance, poke, and see as much damage, and then always be ready to escape. And when we
you rolled,
escaped.
You and Vern rolled pretty high, and you do manage to escape.
Wait, and they escape with the Emerald Blade.
Right.
So it not only affects the random encounters, but Val can convince these creatures to go to the contest.
Which he made full advantage of.
Bats and snakes.
Bats
towards the
and
contest.
snakes.
There's at least a couple bats and a giant snake at least looking towards that direction.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, if I can't fight them, I'm gonna throw anybody their way. Anyone who
It's
would.
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, definitely give you A for effort.
Unless the cultists recruit the snakes and bats.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And you know what? The Shadowdark, one of those woods are full of creatures, and every time I encounter one, I'm gonna send them their way. So
with this, we are introduced to two new characters this episode. A fish folk character
Alzamar Finnegan.
and
Cluck Opaka.
Cluck.
humanoid.
Is that the name of a sandwich?
Sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, a human priest, right?
Yes.
And
Priest of Ord
Ord, the neutral god
of magic.
of magic. Yeah.
Very interesting
Really?
choice.
He likes secrets and equilibrium.
That's funny. My character, I first picked Ord, and then I switched it to Aragnis in the creation one before we started.
Yeah.
I was like, this Ord is too neutral for me.
It was kind of a foil a bit to Tobin because it's like Tobin cared, And if Cluck just doesn't care, or doesn't understand or doesn't know, it's,
Yeah.
There's something in that ignorance and innocence kind of
but
thing.
I rolled really, really low for intelligence.
I noticed you had a -3
Yeah.
earlier
So
today.
it's a
Jesus.
4 on intelligence, so it's a -3.
So with that, is that what kind of pushed you to create the character you
I was
did,
thinking
or-
dumb. And then I wrote down dumb as a chicken for some reason.
I love it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I remember you handed me that character sheet, and then I looked at that. But of course, you already made it. When I saw it, you already had the name that you had. And I was like, "What is this?"
What abomination
I
is this?
loved Mrs. Redcap so much, and I just
Yeah.
okay, let's just see how long a chicken can live in this world.
How long a chicken?
I love that. That's awesome.
Oh my god!
You've already been cracking me. I think it's just you, Zach. You're hilarious because I love Mrs. Redcap, but Cluck is already hilarious to me.
Yeah, he is pretty
A random guy.
pretty ridiculous.
If anything I learned from Baratus, you're
No.
playing.
Very
That was a lot of fun. I briefly considered doing a fighter and just making Baratus in this world.
Baratus was cool.
Shout out to Baratus and WTF BRO if you want to. I'll send another link here if you haven't checked it out already. I know we put it on previous links, or at least if you did it right. There's links to our other podcasts. I will say it's more vulgar and not for children. But we did do the D&D thing over there for a short minute before we started this. If you want to check it out, I would say it's worth a listen. It's our earlier stuff, so
it was a fun learning experience.
Yeah.
It's a good adventure though. That adventure was fun.
Yeah, and every once in a while we will kind of bring back characters from that, or I guess inside jokes, if you will.
Yeah.
Just a little Easter eggs. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Of that. It's nothing too crazy.
Like Rodney in the one shot.
Yeah, Rodney in the one shot, the satyr. I miss that character. It was basically Vern in this campaign now.
Yeah, he is.
Just not a satyr.
There's nothing stopping me if my character here dies and brings Slabaz into it.
I am stopping you.
Why? Because
because I can.
That was a hard line.
He's just he's a business guy and he's running around and he's here. I was like, what's up, dudes?
Yeah.
We can talk about that later. But Russ, you were kind of on the fence of what to make.
Yes, very much so. Because of course I immediately was thinking team composition. And then while Val and Vern were making their daring escape, Zach and I were messaging on Discord trying to come up with our characters. And he told me he was going to be a priest. I was like, okay, healing's covered.
Yeah.
And I was thinking either a Knight of Idris.
Yeah, remember you making mention.
Yeah, to have a tanky fighter. Since we can't find Urix, I would be Urix, basically. But it was either that or a wizard, because there's usually a lot of creative and fun things you can do with a wizard you can't do with the other classes. And I couldn't decide.
Also a lot to know.
Yeah, that too. I couldn't decide on what do they call it in Ancestry? I couldn't decide on an ancestry to play as. And I was almost going to be a goblin wizard, but Zach jokingly messaged me. He's like, you could be a fish person now because we found Marin's Hold by that point.
Right.
And the idea just stuck of a fish wizard. And so that's where Alzamar came from.
And I will open up the table to this because I think it's just fun. If you want to make a character that's kind of like any kind of animal, like Tabaxi being cat or any kind of, I am here for it. We might have to like work some kinks out on the backstories here and there, but I mean, I'm like no holds bar. If you want to create something kind of out there, I'll make it work for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you allowed me to say that, like, because obviously fish folk is not a ancestry in the, the official rules. You allowed me to have like logically have water-based advantages.
Yeah, you came from the water, so obviously be able
and move underwater.
Which is cool because he can swim.
Yes, which ended up
being useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say with a fish folk, for any DM who might be slightly curious about it, what you get it is thundering here, by the way. I don't know if that's going to actually come in through the microphone. Probably not, because
free sound effect.
That was a big one though.
Yeah, it is. It's storming here in the Dallas area. So there's that. But for the teams out there, Ancestry basically
Human.
Basically human, but the only special ability I gave you was breathe underwater and like swim checks. You won't have to like you'll never fail a swim check.
Okay, cool.
Or you won't have to worry about holding your breath underwater, obviously.
Yeah, because if I can breathe, I can just sit there until I can swim again. So that makes sense.
It's like having an Aragon in Skyrim. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, logically speaking, if you're playing the game and you discover these races, like we ran into this fish folk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tempting to be like, I can be one of them. Because you discovered it and they exist. And then we lived among them.
And it was close to you guys, so we can hop back into the game.
So logically speaking, I don't see any
Well,
obstacle.
with Shadowdark again, Kelsey was adamant of like have extra character sheets around because you will die.
Mhm.
She was right.
Just to make it easy, and it's highly implied to just write the person in as like reinforcements arrived or something of that nature.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is a game, and you want everyone around the table to have fun.
Mhm.
I hope we're trying to convey that. Yes, we're storytelling, but we, obviously want to play this game and not make it stale for anybody, but still carry on a story.
Yeah.
That the dice basically kind of help carry along.
If you're having fun, it's not going to be stale.
Right.
Exactly.
Play with it and have fun.
And as a player, it has been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a
Awesome.
pleasure. I'm glad we jumped into it.
I love the fish voice, Russell.
Thanks.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is that Sean Connery?
It's a little bit of Tron mockery, a little bit of just the fish folk voice our lovely DM was doing for like the NPC fish.
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious? I don't know if you have ever seen Hotel Transylvania.
Unfortunately, I have not
Okay.
seen it.
Yeah, you need to watch
the animated thing.
Yeah, you need to watch the number 3. They have the fish folk.
Really?
They
Okay.
go on the monster cruise. It's a cruise
Oh, okay.
for all the monsters, and they go to the Bermuda Triangle. And then the people working on the ship, like the servants, they're fish people. Like take a fish with the feet of a human. They're standing like this on the side, and it's hilarious, dude. And they talk with this like a eloquent voice, and they speak.
Yeah.
If you want to get inspiration, watch that movie.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah, I dude, I'm gonna find clips and I'll send you clips.
Let's talk about moving to episode 12, our most recent.
Oh yeah,
moving along. This episode is a Halloween episode. We are in Halloween. It might come out, or it will come out after Halloween, but it's still our Halloween episode. So yes, you all managed to make it to Boot Hill with your newfound friends, Valvern, Cluck, and Alzamar. And you find a druid lady who essentially gives you a trial. And in a spooky nature, you all basically meet your greatest fears.
I don't know if it was call it a trial, call it an acid trip.
It was still, it could have gone a different way depending on your guys' decisions on what you decided to do. And that would also have affected the reward or lack thereof, depending on what you chose. But you all did extraordinarily well in this spooky episode with this pumpkin spice.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, very good job.
The
by the way.
setup,
Thank you,
you know how we were isolated. That was fun.
Well, it was Halloween. I was like, you know what? They should meet their worst fears, which we've learned. Alzamar
Owl bears.
is an owlbear, which when you
I'm a
sent that,
fish.
when you sent that to me, I was like, oh yeah, that's hilarious. Like, that's awesome, yeah. Val, Dean, your was kind of surprising, honestly. It's not what I was expecting from you, but it was interesting, and I was like, okay, I can play with this. That's what made yours a little more intricate, if you will.
Dude, yeah, when I visualized that setup you put me in, it was terrifying.
Yeah. So Val's, I guess, greatest fear is heights.
And when you jumped, it's like I thought you were gonna die.
I did
Like,
too.
I'm so
I
certain.
thought that was it.
I honestly was like, I don't see any way out of this.
I mean,
I
I wouldn't have seen it either.
In my head, I was like, I tested everything, and I was like, I don't see any way out of this.
Yeah, you climbed down the rope.
Obviously there's some kind of delusion. I had just have to just commit suicide.
Dean, you as a player, I've noticed like you're very mechanical, which is understandable and respectable. You try to like with anybody who wants to like dissect the situation and try to make the most knowledgeable. That I've played with people who just do irrational stuff just for the lulz and just you think I'm gonna do this, well, I'm just gonna do this. I was half expecting you to be immediately like, well, screw this ain't real or something, just jump off immediately, or like, nah, screw that, I can figure this out, I'm gonna start climbing, but I'm gonna like use this, or maybe he had something I didn't know about. I was gonna be like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
But you fought the ghostly figure, which was interesting. Until like you finally did kind of crack in a sense of like, screw it, I'm out, I'm done. Whatever. Even the climbing of the rope, I was like,
I tried the rope trick, and I was like, you know what? Maybe if it's an illusion, let me test it. And I was like, you know,
see how far down.
Yeah, I'm gonna dangle myself. Maybe it's like, you know, it's like a hologram. Maybe if I dangle myself, you know, something reveal itself. And when I did that, and I was like, you know what? There's no way out. I either jump or stay here the whole time.
Powerful magic, and for all you know, you were teleported. Like you have no idea. You have no real idea what was going on.
You stumped me. I tried, and I was like,
And the funny thing, that wasn't the real trial. The trial was a fish thing. If y'all didn't catch it, I was like, because he told me his greatest fear was like, all right, it's Halloween. I might as well make it spooky, you know, for sense. But then it has to come back to the moral and the whole actual point of the trial. Was this whole, you know, nature thing of like, do you love nature, or are you like a psychomaniac who just wants to see the world burn or something, or like, I don't care about this fish, and you start stabbing it or whatever. And I'm glad you kind of picked that up, that they I'll try to make it a little bit obvious but not much. Yeah, because sure, of course, you capture a fish and it would have been too easy, like, oh, there's a fish here, yeah, we need to feed our people. But that's why I sprinkled in like, oh, you are going to sell the fat for perfumes and soaps and that stuff, which is not a necessity. It's to nature.
Yeah, it's a vanity product.
Exactly. So I'm kind of glad you pick up on that, and you did make a good decision. I was curious if you were gonna go the other way and be like, yeah, let's just go to port.
And I got hit, and I got all the way down to 0. Literally the last 3 points, 3.
But
that scene description was freaking awesome too. Him getting stabbed, drops to his knees, and then the tentacles smashing onto the boat. Like I was picturing that, hearing it, seeing it.
Yeah, it was a movie moment.
That was really cool.
Appreciate it. I try. Cluck, you threw me a curveball. Your fear was werewolves, obviously. If you all didn't catch that. It wasn't the fact that was your greatest fear. It's just how you went about it that I was like, man, I don't know how to take that.
Did you smash 3 werewolves into one?
So it was like 5. So if you imagine it, what I was trying to get across is like they kind of just like sucked into each other, like got sucked in, and they grew into the one
big.
Yeah, because it was just about the idea of getting frightened and whatnot. If he was gonna fight it, I was trying to get that moral compass. If like he deserves to live, if you want to cure him because he's a disease and not of nature, because he's kind of not. Yeah. But I mean, it's like wolf, and like it is kind of an abomination.
Actually.
Yeah, a curse.
A curse is
a curse, actually, but like a disease.
If you listen to it, that was really cool because I got sucked into you when you guys were talking about it. Like your interaction with Alzamar and then with Cluck, it's like 100% philosophical conversation. Especially with Alzamar, she started that whole conversation was like philosophical topic. It was like so deep. And then you switch it to Cluck, which is the other opposite of the spectrum, because from our point of view, a werewolf is like an abomination, but who says?
Yeah.
They have it's a creature that has a right to live.
Right.
It was like, it was so deep. I mean, you went for Halloween, but it went also deep, and I was like, wow.
So I was trying to pull some stuff out. With Cluck, I was trying to get that sense of, like I said, like, is this life worth saving, if you will? I thought he was going to fight it, which I was going to be real any kind of way, depending on how he acted. It was really all how you guys acted. Like if you kill for mercy or kill for the greater good, but if you kill, it's like you don't deserve to live because I'm gonna rip your fur and use it for whatever, blah blah blah. But or it might have changed if you did a mercy kill. It's like, I'm doing this because you're going to ruin nature. Kind of same with you, Alzamar, with the deer.
Yeah.
Whether you decide to heal it or you decide to let it get killed because it's still a part of nature. It is quite the dilemma. And I was looking into some things that like it could go either way, honestly. Yeah. But again, I wasn't really looking for a definitive answer of what you actually did. It was more of your attitude towards it. Because you could have stand as like, I'm not going to let you kill this deer because it's wrong. And he needs to go back to his family. And if I stop, at least those deers will keep going and they'll graze and they'll do whatever deers do and help the economy and however deers do or whatever. So if you choose to fight it, that'd been one thing. And you kind of did a mix of both, which was kind of surprising.
That was a good dilemma, because if you let it be eaten, that's nature.
Yeah. Exactly.
And if you heal it and compassionate for it, that's also nature.
Yeah. So there was no real wrong answer to any of your guys's dilemmas. It was just how you acted upon it.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of like going for.
Very powerful dilemma.
Yeah. It was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
Kind of felt like a fever dream. Like where nothing's
it's an
right
trip.
and you don't have a perfectly good choice.
Yeah.
Someone gets hurt either way, and it's it's like nature, what's natural maybe in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Right.
And who decides what's natural, Like the werewolf, he exists.
Exactly.
The werewolf exists.
Right. And
in the setting, it's like, who decides that he is not natural?
I would even argue civilization, or even this house, like, it's like, oh, this house is man-made, it's artificial. It's like, okay, but man is nature. This house came from nature in a sense, like it's wood, stone, and whatnot. And would I have not built it if I was continuing allowed? So like through nature, this is kind of a...
But there's no difference between this house and a bird's nest.
Anthill,
it's just a scale.
Yeah.
The bird's nest is within the scale of
True,
bird's
but then you go
world.
to like...
This is within our scale.
Right.
So.
But I was going to the fact of like industrialization, where it's like, I'm going to burn oil, this and that. In a weird sense, that's nature too. That's just humans.
You're recycling stuff from nature. It's like you're not making anything from scratch.
Because we are nature, anything that is of us is also nature.
Yeah. Which, shout out to my band Suffer the Human Condition, which kind of the reason why I like that name now is because it can mean anything, because we're all suffering the human condition.
Yeah.
In a sense, because that could literally mean anything.
That's right.
It's like nature. So, I was kind of playing that in my head. If you think about it too long and hard, you get into some weird rabbit holes and loopholes and stuff. Yeah. But again, it just comes down to like the decision y'all really kind of try to make and like your attitude towards it. Because there was no wrong answer. I mean, the wrong answer would be like, set fire to the forest, screw this. I'm living no matter what type of, selfishness. I guess selfishness would have been the wrong answer in that scenario, I guess.
Yeah, and if she's strong enough to do that, I wouldn't want to see what that druid could do if we pissed her off.
Oh, God.
Yeah, possibly. Could be a great ally. Could be a number of things.
Right.
Well, so far, we made good connection with her, so let's keep it that way.
And then you made your way to Hadron's Tower, the wizard that befell that you assume befell from the well that he ripped his head off. You make it to the tower, barely shipwreck, which, isn't that big of a deal with shipwreck, but your boat's no longer in working function. And started climbing the tower. You made it basically to the third floor, which looked like a paradistic safe place, until you forgot to close the door and were greeted with a giant ivory knight.
It's always like the dumbest thing you forget to do. And then it turns out to be...
It's always doors.
I even said in the... Because I was like kind of waiting for someone to say, it's like, oh, again, I play in other games, so I'm used to somebody saying like, hey, okay, well, while they're all doing that, I'm going to close the door while this is happening. It's like, okay, noted, blah, blah, blah. And that, to me, that's just kind of, always happen. So I guess because I played and I've learned my lessons.
Yeah, it's like looking for traps.
Yeah, because I've...
It's funny, like in Baldur's Gate, there are like places when I played, when you're getting in a fight, you can get to the door and close it.
Yeah.
Which I've done, and I was like, I should know this.
Because in real situations, nobody said that can help the
fight, right. In Baldur's Gate, sometimes I can like delay the attacks of the other ones, which I've done it.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I even made mentions like, should I say? And you're like, nah. And I was like, yeah, you're right. This is going to be a learning moment. Yeah, and then I rolled for rounds, which is more for me to like count the seconds for as long, because you guys walked up that tower and this thing was moving really slow. So this is why you got to find the key and saw all the pictures and whatnot, solve the puzzle. but then like it popped in its slow motion, which might be a reason why it's moving really slow.
While it's unfortunate, that is really cool. And the rest of the tower too so far has been really cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it has one floor that is so soundproof that you can't hear anything.
Yeah, those magical wards.
Magical soundproof.
It's got a whole zone of silence basically around it, which I saw this. You know what? I'm not going to say this because I might use parts of it later. But just know that there's something I watched recently that gave me a lot of ideas. It's out on Amazon. And I'm not going to say it. I'll say it later. If you'd like to know, you can email me personally at tabletopdiaries@gmail.com and I'll happily send it to you.
Tabletop Diary.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Tabletopdiary.com. That's tabletopdiary@gmail.com is our email. Send that to us that way, and I will be happy to oblige on what I watch that might spark, or probably it will spark, some interesting encounters in the future. Any last words, guys?
Oh, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah,
Thank you for listening, y'all.
Because you left us in another cliffhanger.
Yeah.
An episode with many cliffhangers.
We gotta fight a knight and build a boat.
Yeah, hopefully figure out the secrets of the ivory tower. Ooh, storm, thunder.
And it's storming here, and we are in the Halloween spirit.
Yeah, it's Halloween. It's gonna be Halloween real soon here. It's gonna be awesome. I'll probably add some thunder in here because I made mention of it a lot of times now. But anyway, thank you all for listening to Tabletop Diaries After Party Episode 4. And stay tuned for some more episodes. We are trying to get these out as as orderly as we can. Right now we're at bi-weekly. We'd love to do this a little bit more, but we all have lives outside of here. Maybe that will change. Just stay tuned. Honestly, just stay tuned. Bye.